morning. We'll begin standing with our feet hips width apart, standing up straight and tall on our mat. You can start at the front of your mat, just for purposes. I'll be facing you for this beginning part. But feet are hips width apart. We're standing up straight and tall. We're going to press our palms to heart center. And we're going to close our eyes and begin with a few breaths. Breathing in through our nose, exhaling through our mouths. Bringing awareness into our bodies and connecting with our breath. Noticing the weight of your body over your feet. Maybe try wiggling your toes. Pressing all four corners of your feet down on your mat. See if you can stand up a little bit straighter so you're lengthening through your spine. And with each inhale, really open your lungs. Find a little bit of extra space. With each exhale, release any tension from your body so you're really kind of sinking into your mat here. Let's just take a moment here to give gratitude for this day, for this opportunity to move and practice and feel in our bodies, and just for the opportunity to be here on our mats, in our space. And on your next inhale, you can open your eyes, reaching your arms all the way up toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, folding forward, reaching toward your toes. Inhale, so you lift halfway, so you're lengthening through your spine. You want a nice flat back here. Exhale, folding forward. We'll grab our elbows, step our feet a little bit wider, maybe heel toe to the edge of the mat, and then just rock gently side to lengthen through our spine. Open up through our hamstrings. Maybe again, try wiggling your toes, play with the balance over your feet. And then come back through neutral. We'll slowly roll all the way up to standing, stacking the vertebrae of our spine. Taking a big inhale, we'll reach our arms all the way up, step our feet back to hips width apart. And then just begin to twist side to side, reaching a little bit higher, find a little bit more length. Kind of stretching through the sides, adding in a little twist here. We'll come back through neutral on the exhale. We'll press our palms to heart center. Then releasing our arms to our sides, we'll take another inhale. We'll reach as high as we can. This time on the exhale, we'll drop the left arm, reach over with the right. So we're lengthening through the right side, twisting and looking up toward the ceiling under the right arm. Then inhale back up through center. On the exhale, switching sides, we'll drop the right arm, reaching over with the left. Big lengthening stretch through the left side, looking up toward the ceiling. Then inhale back up through center. On the exhale, swan dive, chest first all the way back down, reaching toward our toes. Inhale again, halfway lift, so we're lengthening through our spine. Then we'll place our hands on the mat and step back into a plank. Hugging our elbows into our side for chaturanga, bottom of a push-up, drawing our chest forward. On the inhale, lifting the chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting the hips and pressing back to downward dog. And we'll take a few breaths here. You can bend one knee or the other. You can twist through your shoulders a few times. Maybe sink your heels toward the mat, lift your toes. If you have any more space here, maybe even bend through your knees and sit your hips toward your heels. Kind of play with a few different shapes here. And on the inhale, lift the right leg all the way up toward the ceiling for three-legged dog. Bend through your knee and make a few circles on the ceiling to open up through your hips. So big circles here. And then take those circles in reverse. Inhale all the way back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, step forward between your hands. We'll lower our back knee onto the mat and begin to bend and straighten through the front knee. So bending and straightening. Just kind of warming everything up. Finish with our front knee bent. Walk our hands up to our knee. Take a moment just to check our alignment here. Make sure your right knee is right over your right ankle. We're sinking our left hip toward the ground. Hips stay square. And on the inhale, we'll reach our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Interlace our fingers, flip our palms, and look all the way up toward our hands. And on the exhale, we'll bring our hands back to the mat. Straighten to the front leg for our half split. And you can point and flex that front foot a few times. Maybe rub your hamstring if it's feeling tight. Maybe even begin to slide that front foot forward. See if you can sink a little deeper. So just where you're at today, you don't have to push it because it's still really early in the practice. Where you end up. And then maybe wherever you're at, fold forward over the right leg. Slide that front foot back in. Bend to the knee, heel toe our foot to the edge of the mat, so we're opening up through our hip. And then come down onto our forearms, sinking to the outside edge of our foot. You can even use the right hand. Press against the inside of your right thigh, twist and look up over the right shoulder. If you want to stay here, you can. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, bend the left knee, reach back with your right hand. See if you can catch your foot, kick that foot into your hand, and then twist a little deeper, looking up over the right shoulder. And then bring your hands back to the mat. We'll step back into our plank. Again, we'll hug our elbows into our sides for chaturanga, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, lifting our chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting our hips, pressing back into our downward dog. You can bend one knee, bend the other. Twist it out. Take a few more breaths here. Then on the next inhale, lift the left leg all the way up toward the ceiling, three-legged dog. We'll bend through that knee and make a few circles to open up through the hip. And then take those circles in reverse. On the inhale, extend the left leg all the way back up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, step forward between your hands. Lower the right knee, back knee to the mat. And we'll begin to bend and straighten through the front leg, warming up through our hamstring on the left. Trying to keep our hips square if we can. We'll finish by bending the left knee, walking our hands up toward our knee, and on the inhale, we'll reach our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Big, deep inhale here. This time we'll flip our palms away from each other, cross our wrists, inhale, lift our chests a little bit higher. And on the exhale, we'll lower our hands to the mat, straighten through the left leg, pointing and flexing through our foot, maybe rubbing our hamstring if it's feeling tight. And if you'd like to try sliding that left foot forward, you can. Just see where you're at today on this side. No need to push it. Again, it is still early. It is a very deep stretch. So kind of take it easy and see where you end up here. And when you're ready, you can try folding forward over the left leg. Go ahead and release. Pull that left leg back in. Bend again through the knee. We'll heel toe our foot to the edge of the mat, bringing our hands onto the inside of that leg, maybe seeking to the outside edge of our foot, or coming down onto our forearms, or both, depending on what feels comfortable today. And then maybe try taking your left hand and pressing against the inside edge of your left thigh, twisting and looking up over your left shoulder, looking up toward the ceiling. Trying to open up through that hip. This is an external rotation of our thigh. And then maybe even reach our left hand back, bend the right knee and see if you can catch your foot. Kicking that foot into your hand, we'll twist a little deeper, looking up over the left shoulder. And then release. Bring our hands back to the mat. We'll step back into our plank. Take a moment to find a nice solid plank, lowering our hips if they're high. And then we'll drop our heels side to side, just to warm our obliques up a little bit. Good. And coming back through neutral, hug your elbows into your sides, drawing your chest forward, chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest for upward dog. And on the exhale again, lift your hips, press back to downward dog. On the inhale, lift the right leg all the way up, three-legged dog. On the exhale, bring your right knee underneath you toward your nose, rounding through your spine. Inhale, extend the right leg all the way back up. On the exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, all the way back up. On the exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, all the way back up. One more time, we'll come back through the center. And then step forward between our hands. We'll flatten to the back heel for warrior one on the inhale, reaching our arms up. And on the exhale, warrior two, bringing your arms out to the sides. Then flipping your right palm, reach forward, up and back for reverse warrior. So you're lengthening through the right side, looking up toward the ceiling. Maybe bend a little deeper to the front knee if you have any more space. Maybe even take that left back hand, sweep it around and see if you can catch your right thigh. And cartwheel that right arm forward, come down to the mat. We'll straighten through the front leg, reaching up toward the ceiling with the left arm for triangle. And if you can't quite reach the ground with that right hand, just come to your shins, so look more like this. Or you can use a yoga block, place it on the outside of your thigh. Okay. Keeping both legs straight, we'll inhale, reaching up and back for reverse triangle, lengthening through the right side. And cartwheel your hands back down to the mat. We'll step back into our plank. Hug our elbows into our sides for Chaturanga Baddha push-up. Inhale, lifting the chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting the hips, pressing back to downward dog. On the inhale, lift the left leg all the way up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, bring your knee in toward your nose, rounding through your spine. Inhale, lift, extend that back leg. Exhale, bring the left knee over to the right elbow underneath you. Inhale, all the way back up, three-legged dog. And on the exhale, left knee to left elbow. One more time, inhale, lift the left leg, and on the exhale, step forward between your hands. Flattening to the back heel, reaching your arms up, warrior one. And on the exhale, warrior two, bring your arms out to the sides. And flipping the left palm, reach forward, up and back, reverse warrior, keeping the bend in your front knee. Maybe even bend a little deeper through the front knee. Maybe even take the right arm, sweep it behind your back and see if you can catch your left thigh. Good. And cartwheel that left arm down to the mat. Straighten through your front leg for triangle. And again, this can be here or on a yoga block. Just want to make sure you get your front leg straight, looking up toward the ceiling. And then reverse triangle, reaching up and back, lengthening to the left side. Okay. Cartwheeling your hands back down to the mat. We'll step back into our plank, hug our elbows into our sides, Chaturanga Baddha push-up, inhaling for upward dog, and on the exhale, lift your hips, press back to downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg again all the way up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, bring the right knee forward toward your nose, but this time lower it to the mat. Then pull it back up toward your nose. And on the inhale, reach it all the way up behind you. On the exhale, right knee over to the left elbow. Lower it to the mat. Pull it back up toward your elbow. Then inhale all the way back up toward the ceiling. Back to our three-legged dog. Then on the exhale, right knee, right elbow. Lower to the mat. Pull it back up, all the way up toward the ceiling. Awesome. And then on the exhale, again, step forward between your hands. Flatten through your back heel, right back up into your warrior one. Taking just one breath here on the exhale, right into your warrior two. Flipping your palm, reaching forward, up and back, reverse warrior. And then on the exhale, triangle. And reverse triangle. And this time we're adding in revolved triangle, bringing the left hand down, reaching up with the right. And again, if you need a block here, you can. Maybe even try crossing to the outside edge of your foot. And then all the way back into reverse warrior, bending to the front knee. Find a little bit more space here. Then all the way back down to the mat, we'll step back into our plank. Hug our elbows into our sides for chaturanga, Baddha push-up. Inhale, lifting the chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, right back to downward dog. Five breaths here. And on the inhale, lift the left leg all the way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your knee toward your nose. Tap it to the mat. Pull it back up. And then inhale all the way up behind you. On the exhale, left knee to the right elbow. Lower it to the mat. Bring it back up to the elbow. Inhale all the way up toward the ceiling. And then one more time on the left. Left knee, left elbow. Lower to the mat. Back up to your elbow. Inhale all the way back up, and on the exhale, stepping forward between your hands, we'll flatten through our back heel. Warrior one, just one breath here. Then on the exhale, warrior two. Flipping our palm, reverse warrior. And then triangle, straightening to the front leg. Reverse triangle, reaching up and back. And revolve triangle, whichever variation you prefer. And then bending to the front knee, reverse warrior one more time. Bringing our hands back to the mat, step back into our plank. Hug our elbows into our sides, chaturanga, Baddha push-up. Inhale for upward dog and exhale right back to downward dog. And again, we have 5 breaths here. Maybe sink a little bit deeper if you can. Shake your legs out if you need to. Let's try that whole thing one last time. We'll be moving with our breath, maybe at our own pace. On the inhale, right leg all the way up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, stepping forward between your hands. We'll inhale, reach our arms up, warrior one. On the exhale, warrior two. Flipping our palm, reaching forward, up and back, reverse warrior. Heart rolling that right arm forward for triangle. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse triangle. And then revolve triangle. And then reverse warrior. And then vinyasa, hands come back to the mat. Put our elbows into our sides. Inhale for upward dog. Exhale back to downward dog. Let's move right into our second side. On the inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step forward between your hands. Warrior one. And warrior two. Then reverse warrior. Triangle. Reverse triangle. Revolve triangle. And then reverse warrior. And vinyasa. Awesome. This time on the inhale, lift your right leg all the way back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, step forward between your hands. But we're going to shift our weight so that our toes point forward on our mat. So whichever way makes it so you can see your computer screen or phone screen. Feet are nice and wide. We'll inhale, lift our chest. And on the exhale, we'll fold forward, walk our hands forward, And then just lower our chest toward the mat. Just make sure you keep your hips in line with your ankles as you begin to fold. Maybe even walk your fingers a little bit forward if you have any more space without moving that alignment. Then walk your hands underneath you so you fold a little bit deeper. Come back through the center. We'll reach for our toes, grabbing our big toe with our peace fingers, our first two fingers. Taking an inhale to lengthen our spine. On the exhale, bending our elbows and folding forward. Inhale for length. Place our left hand below our forehead, reaching up with the right so that we twist, looking up toward the ceiling. And then really try to activate your core here so that you're not putting all of the weight of your body into that left hand, but maybe even try to kind of float it a little bit so that you really are activating your core. Dropping the right hand, let's reach up with the left, same thing. Inhale, lengthen, twist, look up toward the left shoulder. Again, try to lighten the weight on that right hand. And then release. Hands come back to the mat. You'll walk your hands over to the right side. And if you can reach the right foot with your left hand, try sweeping the right arm behind your back and see if you can catch the inside edge of your left thigh. Maybe even twist to look over the right shoulder. And then switching sides, sweeping your hands over to the left side. Maybe bringing the left arm behind your back and reaching toward the right inside of your thigh. We'll come back through the center. Sweep our arms up behind our back, and then allow our shoulders to open, interlacing our fingers. Sink a little bit deeper toward the ground. Keep that mind as you inhale, unless you have a sensitive back and you can place your hands on your back. Inhale, lift our chest. Take a big inhale, reach our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, pressing our palms to heart center. We'll step our feet back to hips width apart. Dropping our arms to our sides. Take another inhale. Really reach our arms as high as we can. And again on the exhale, pressing our palms back to our heart center, finding our balance and realignment here. We'll shift our weight onto our left foot, lifting our right heel, maybe coming into a low tree. Or you can bring that foot a little bit higher on your leg, maybe up into your thigh. A few options here. Pressing our palms to heart center. Take a moment here and see if you can close your eyes and see if you can maintain that balance with your eyes closed. A little bit trickier. You can open your eyes, place your left hand on your hip, maybe even take your right ankle and bring it on top of your left thigh, and then you can grab onto that foot. If this isn't happening, just stay right here. But if you made it this far, Inhale, reach up with the right arm and fold forward, reaching toward the mat. Maybe even bring your left hand to the mat and sweep the right arm behind your back and see if you can catch your foot. So you can add in a little bind here. And then release. We'll come all the way back up to standing. Bring our right hand to grab our right big toe. Left hand comes back to your side if it's not already there. And then we'll straighten through the right leg. And this can be done with your knee bent also. So either here or here. And then open that right leg out to the right side. Maybe reach out with that left arm to counterbalance. And you can also stay right here. Knee bent variation. Wherever you're at, bring that leg in front of you. Grab the outside edge of your foot, reaching back with the right arm. We'll twist and look over the right shoulder. And if you're going to keep your knee bent, it's going to look like this. And then we're just twisting and looking over the right shoulder. Okay. Whichever option you chose, release that right leg, sweep it along your side, maybe catch the inside edge of your right ankle, reaching up with the left arm. Find your balance here first, and then begin to shift forward into dancer. And then slowly release. Right back where you started. Bring your feet back to hips width apart. Just take a big inhale to lengthen everything back out, and on the exhale, swan dive back into our forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through your spine, so nice flat back. We'll place our hands on the mat, step back into our plank. Hug our elbows into our sides, chaturanga, bottom of the push-up. Inhale for upward dog, and on the exhale, right back to downward dog. Good. Then walk your hands back to your feet, right back into your forward fold. Maybe take a moment to lengthen your spine, and on the exhale, fold forward. And then slowly roll all the way back up to standing. Big inhale, reaching your arms overhead. Exhale again, pressing your palms to heart center. We'll switch to the opposite side. So we'll shift our weight onto our right foot, lifting our left heel, maybe coming into a low tree. Maybe a little bit higher up on your leg, maybe come onto the inside of your thigh. Finding your balance on the right. And then see if you can take a moment here to close your eyes. See if you can maintain that balance. Okay, and you can open your eyes. Ooh, maybe you did better than me. Bring your right hand to your hip. Maybe even bring that foot on top of your thigh, and you can hold it with that right hand. And if that's going okay, you can try folding forward, reaching toward the mat. Or you can reach the right hand to the mat, bring the left arm behind your back, catch your foot, and see if you can fold a little deeper. And then slowly release. We'll come all the way back up to standing. Right hand comes back onto your hip. Take our left hand, we'll either grab our left knee, or you can grab your foot and straighten to the left leg. And sweep that left leg out to the left side. Maybe reach out with the right arm. Find your balance here. Maybe play with adding in a twist. Bring your right hand to the outside edge of your left foot or knee, reaching back with the left arm. And again, if you want to do the bent knee variation, it looks like this. Chest is lifted and we're looking over the left shoulder. Good. And then sweep that left leg back behind you. See if you can catch the inside edge of your foot. Reaching up with that right arm. Maybe even shifting into dancer on the right. And then slowly releasing, all the way back to standing. Lower the left leg. Big inhale, reaching your arms all the way up. Exhale again, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your hands on the mat, step back into your plank. Hug your elbows into your sides for chaturanga, bottom to push-up. Inhale, lifting your chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting your hips, press back into downward dog. This time, inhale, lift the right leg all the way up, three-legged dog. Bend through your knee, look under the left arm and see if you can see your foot. And if you can, drop it to the mat. Press your hips up high for wild thing. Then flip all the way back around, back through your three-legged dog. And on the exhale, sweep the right leg underneath you, out to the left side for shooting star. We'll reach up with the left arm. Make sure your right wrist is below your right shoulder. Reach up, lengthen, and then maybe reach that left arm overhead. Good. Place the left hand on the mat, sweep that right leg into the front and come right into pigeon. We'll inhale to lengthen our spine. On the exhale, fold forward over the right leg. Inhale, lift your chest. Take your left arm, reach it up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, sweep it under the right so that you add in a twist. Maybe even reach your right arm behind your back and catch that foot on the ground underneath you if you have any more space. Maybe bend your left knee, see if you can catch that foot, and then pull it in nice and tight toward your left thigh. And then release. We'll lift our chest, place our hands on the mat, we'll step back into our plank. Hug our elbows into our sides, chaturanga, bottom push-up. Inhale, lift your chest, upward dog, and on the exhale, lift your hips, press back to downward dog. On the inhale, lift the left leg all the way up toward the ceiling, three-legged dog. Then bend through your left knee, look under the right arm, see if you can see your foot, and then drop that foot to the mat for wild thing, pressing your hips high. Good. Inhale all the way back up through your three-legged dog. On the exhale, sweep the left leg underneath you out to the right side for shooting star, reaching up with the right arm. And then maybe all the way overhead. Good. Then bend that left knee and draw it forward so you come right into your pigeon, top of the right thigh, pressing onto the mat. We'll inhale to lengthen our spine, exhale, fold over the left leg. Adding in a twist, we'll inhale, reach up with the right arm. Exhale, sweep it under the left. Maybe even sweep the left arm behind your back. See if you can catch the foot on the ground underneath you. Maybe try bending the right knee. Reach back with the left hand. See if you can catch that foot and pull that foot nice and tightly into that right thigh. And then release that right leg. We'll come all the way back up, placing our hands on the mat, stepping back into our plank. Again, we're hugging our elbows into our sides, chaturanga, bottom of a push-up. Inhale, lifting the chest, upward dog. And on the exhale, right back to downward dog. And this time, step your feet a little bit wider so the feet come to the edges of the mat. Reach your right hand toward your left ankle, twist and look under the left arm up toward the ceiling. And then come back through your downward dog, wide-legged downward dog. We'll take the left hand, bring it to the right ankle, and twist, looking up toward the ceiling under the right arm. Come back through the center. Walk your hands back to your feet. Heel toe your feet back to hips width apart. We're going to take a little hop forward between our hands, sinking our hips low. So we come into a staff pose on our mat. So sitting up straight and tall. Big inhale, reaching our arms overhead, and on the exhale, folding forward, reaching toward our toe. Now lifting your chest. Let's press our hips forward, roll down onto our mat. Bring our heels toward our hips, arms along our sides. On the inhale, we'll lift our hips and press up toward the ceiling for a low bridge. You can interlace your fingers underneath you if you can reach. Maybe roll your shoulder blades underneath you. Press your hips a little bit higher up toward the ceiling. Lower your hips back to the mat. Inhale, extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. Bend the knee so you place your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Keep your arms along your sides, and on the inhale, press your hips up toward the ceiling. So now you're opening up through that right hip. Release that right leg. Lower your hips back down. Let's try it again on the left. Inhale, lift the left leg. Bend your knee, place it on top of the right thigh. And on the inhale, press your hips up toward the ceiling, opening up through your head. Maybe lift your hips a little bit higher if you have any more space. Okay. Lower your hips back to the ground. Place your hips back on the mat. We'll take one more bridge if you want to make this a full wheel, depending on where you're at. And place your hands on the mat. Inhale, lift your hips. Maybe walk your feet a little bit closer toward your hands. And then lower all the way back down. We'll tuck our knees into our chest, rocking gently side to side. Straighten through the left leg. Take your right knee, pull it over to your left side, keeping your right shoulder on the mat. So we're twisting, and then look over the right shoulder. Okay. Then open that right knee over to the right side. You can keep your knee bent, or you can straighten that leg, catching the outside edge of your foot, reaching out with the left arm. One more time, we'll come back through the center, so we're squaring off our hips. If you're a little bit tight, again, you can rub your hamstring, point and flex a few times. Otherwise, you're pulling our shin toward our nose. Release the right leg. Let's switch sides. We'll tuck the left knee into our chest. Draw it over to the right side, keeping your left shoulder on the mat. Maybe reaching out with that left arm. Find some space here. Then open that left knee over to the left side. You can keep the knee bent, or you can catch the outside edge of your foot or your big toe, opening up to that left side, reaching out with the right arm. So lots of options here. Good, and come back through the center, keeping your hips nice and square or re-squaring your hips. We'll pull our shin toward our nose, and again, if you're tight, you can rub that hamstring. You can point and flex that top foot. And then release that left leg. Again, tuck your knees into your chest. We'll grab the outside edges of our feet for happy baby and just rock gently side to side. If you want to play with variations of happy baby, you can straighten through your legs. So wide leg happy baby, really opening up through your hips. You can try bending through one knee for archer's pose, opening up through your hips a little bit deeper here. And then try the other side, bending the left knee. One more time, come back through the center. This time maybe rock forward and back a few times. We'll come up to a seat, and then we'll roll all the way back down onto our back, extending our toes up toward the ceiling, maybe even lifting our hips up into a shoulder stand. We'll just take a few more breaths here. And try lowering your toes overhead, coming into plow pose. You can interlace your fingers behind your back, straighten through your arms, or you can keep your hands at your lower back for a little bit more support. Maybe bending through your knees, bring your knees toward your ears for ear pressure pose. And slowly roll all the way back down onto your back. Big inhale, reach your arms overhead. Lengthen everything back out. Give yourself one last big deep stretch. Then bend your knees and drop your knees side to side for windshield wipers, just releasing any remaining tension in your hips. Then straightening through your legs, give yourself one last inhale. And on the exhale, we'll release our arms along our sides, making any last minute adjustments you need to find yourself in a comfortable position that you can spend a few minutes. Then close your eyes, clearing your mind. Take the last few moments to completely melt into our mat, releasing tension from our bodies for Shavasana. time to awaken from Shavasana. You can open your eyes, bringing a little bit of feeling and life into your fingers and toes. Gently tuck your knees into your chest. When you're ready, gradually make your way to a seat at the front of your mat. So we'll finish in a simple cross-legged pose. If you'd like to bring this into a half lotus, placing one foot on top of your thigh, or a full lotus, depending on your flexibility and how open your hips are feeling today. I will just be in a simple cross-legged pose. We'll allow the back of our wrists to rest on our knees. Palms are open toward the sky, open to receiving. And we'll take one last deep inhale, reaching our arms overhead, opening, expanding our lungs to the fullest. And on the exhale, pressing our palms to heart center. Thank you for joining me. It was my honor and privilege to guide you in your practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day and stay safe and healthy. Namaste.